Hey guys, in this video we're going to go ahead and catch the submission using JavaScript, jQuery, and Ajax, and then make a post request. Alright, so we're going to get to use the JavaScript, this main.js file, and just to make sure that it's connected, let's just do a quick alert. We'll just say alert linked. Okay, and then if we go back and reload, okay, so we didn't get the alert. Let's do a Control U and look at the source code here. And let's see. Okay, this looks like the style sheet's being included. And so is main.js. That's really weird. Huh. Okay, so it looks like I didn't name the folder correctly. Alright, if we look at it, we have newsletter underscore subscriber, which is wrong. We should actually have a hyphen in the middle, like that. Let's make sure the back end still works. Alright, so now it's not so we have to, let's see, so newsletter subscriber PHP, I think it's just deactivated, so let's go back to plugins. And newsletter subscriber, yeah, we just have to activate it again. Alright, so that should be back. Alright, so we're also getting our alert. So that means that the JavaScript file is linked. Alright, so let's get rid of that. Now, we're going to be using jQuery, so I'm going to say jQuery, and we want to put in here document .ready. We want to make sure the document's ready before we do this. And then in here we want to say function. And instead of using this jQuery, which in WordPress by default we have to use this instead of putting the $ here because we're in no conflict mode. But what we can do if you still want to use the $ is just pass it in here. Alright, I'm not going to go through learning JavaScript or jQuery or Ajax. I'm just going to kind of do it. It's not that complicated. We're just going to use Ajax to send a post request. Alright, so we need to have some kind of handler. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we have our front end form wrapped in a div. I'm sorry, not in a div, but the form has an ID of subscriber form. So we want to use that to access it or to grab it. Alright, so we're going to go like that and say subscriber form. And we want to say when that submits, so dot submit, then we want to run a function. And we can pass the event variable here. And then to stop the default form behavior, we're going to say e.preventDefault. And that should stop it from actually submitting. Alright, let's just do an alert for now. And we'll say submitted. Unable to save. I don't know why it does that, but once in a while Sublime Text does this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this and then close it. I think it's because I renamed the folder. So let's go back in and we'll just put that back in and save. Okay, so now if we reload, now I should be able to fill this out. and we should get an alert or not. See, it did submit to the PHP file, which I didn't want it to do. I wanted to oh, I don't have the ID right here, the ID symbol. That's why. And you know what else? We didn't include jQuery, so that's not going to work. So let's go back to newsletter subscriber scripts, and we're including the main.js right here. Now, when using this method here, if our main.js file, if that is dependent on another script, then we can put that in the next. We can actually put that in an array in the next parameter. And to use jQuery, that's all we have to do is actually just put in jQuery, and WordPress knows to include it. So let's try that. All right. So we'll reload. Say test. There we go. All right. So we're getting submitted, and notice that it doesn't actually submit the form. We're catching it in the JavaScript. So that's what we want. So let's get rid of that. Now what we're going to want to do is serialize the subscriber form. So let's serialize form, and we'll create a variable called subscriber data. So subscriber form, and then we just want to add to the end here .serialize. Okay, then we want to submit the form using Ajax. We're going to use the Ajax method, just like that, and then we'll pass in JavaScript object. We want to specify the type of post. I'm sorry, the type of request, which is post. And we want to specify the URL. Okay, the URL we're going to get from the action attribute. So we'll say subscriber form, and we'll use .adder, and we want the action attribute. All right, and then we need the data. So that's going to be the subscriber data. All right, and then down here, we're going to say .done, and we'll pass in our callback. Okay, that's going to take a response object, and let's say if success. So if everything goes all right and we get a request back, then let's fill that form message. Okay, so form message dot remove class. So if there's an error class, we'll remove that. And what we're doing here is these error and success classes we haven't created yet, but we're going to add those in CSS so that error messages will be red and success messages will be green. All right, and then let's just copy that. And for this one, we're going to say add class, and we're going to add a class called success. Okay, then we need to set the message text. Okay, so we'll grab that form message element, and we'll say .text, and we'll send in the response. And then finally, we want to clear the fields. So we want the element with the ID of name, and we're just going to do .val, which will change the value to nothing. Same thing with email. Alright, so that's the success. Now for the fail, I'm going to go here, I'm going to say dot fail. Okay, same thing, I'm going to have a function. Like that. And we're going to pass in data. And let's copy this. Alright, and then we're going to say if error. And I'm just going to change this. We want to remove the success class. And we want to add the error class. Alright, and then we're going to check the response text. So let's do if. We'll say if data dot response text is not equal to nothing. Okay, so if it's there, let's copy that, paste that in there. Then we're going to set this to that data response text. Then we'll say else. Okay, then this will just say, we'll just say the message wasn't sent. Alright, and that's it. So let's save that. Oh, we do have to put in here that we want to clear it to nothing. Now, it's going to send to the PHP file, but there's nothing in that file to send a request back. Alright, but what we can do is at least test to see if the data goes through. So if we go to our mailer, and let's do echo, and then to deal with the post global variable, we can do $_post, and then whatever the name of the field is. So let's look for the name field. Alright, so when we submit it, we should actually see the name field pop up right here. So we'll say test, subscribe, and we get test. Alright, if we want to test the email, okay, we'll do the same thing. And then we get the email. So we know that that's getting sent to this file. Alright, so that's what I wanted to do in this video. In the next video, we'll take care of the subscriber mailer file and send the email and then send a request back. Alright, so we'll do that next.